Broadcasting from the heart of Kampala. Here we are with issues at hand in Good Morning Family. Thank you so much for choosing Church of Uganda Family TV this morning. Edrine Mukalazi is my name now. Issues at Hand is brought to you by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort at its best. Now, are you planning for a wedding reception, honeymoon? Are you planning for vacation? I have good news for you. Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe is the place to be. So here we are with our issues at hand today. Of course, we've had another session of political news since last week, where we had people crossing from one party to the other, and of course things have always been showing up until yesterday, when something mess showed up in the newspapers, and this is a talk of town everywhere. Everyone is asking what is next for FDC with these alleged divisions. Of course, we know some sect is accusing the other for having received money as a way of dragging the party to the State House, following the footsteps of Uganda People's Congress and Democratic Party. So the one Honorable Sam Junganda says there is a sect of leaders that are determined to drag FDC up to State House after receiving illegal money from the State House. And of course, yesterday there was our Honorable Sam Junganda, together with the Lord Mayor, Honorable Elias Lukwago, and Honorable Francis Mujushe, and other members, had a national consultative meeting. Now, much as he calls it national consultative meeting, which was held at Sharing Hall in Zambia, the party leadership says that was illegal, and he has no mandate to hold a national consultative meeting. But these and other issues are the ones we are going to look at today and at this particular time. With us is the FDC Bugiri representative, who is also a former contestant for Bukoli Central. Bukoli is in Bugiri district, and he's an advocate of the High Court and the subordinate courts in Uganda. With us, join me as we welcome the one Mr. Mugagga Mukuve. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow. We are looking at the issues to do with FDC. Now, you as a party representative, you're at the heart of this matter that we are talking about, because I believe that much as some people are accusing the others of being new in the party, I don't know whether you belong to the founders or those who are new in the party.
Well, I joined the party at its formation
in 2004?
In 2004,
okay.
But I was the first president or chairman of the party branch at Makerere University in 2006.
Okay.
Because once the party was formed, when Dr. Besigye came back from exile, then we undertook an activity of going every district, establishing party branches. So one of the largest places that the FDC had support was Makerere University, over 100,000 students. That's where we set up our party branch. So I was the first chairman.
Okay.
Yes. So I've been there for the whole period.
So you know that
Yes.
the real story.
Yes.
I thought you're part of this group that is accused of having joined the party of recent. That they don't know much about the party.
No.
Well, we want to look at the constitution of the party, because as Honorable Sam Ju holds a national consultative meeting at Sharing Hall in Zambia, the party president says it is illegal. Yes. He's not supposed to hold this meeting. Now, let us first of all look at the constitution. What does the constitution of the party says? Who is supposed to? Because Honorable Sam Ju is the party spokesperson.
Yes.
And I think he holds this assembly in his powers as the party spokesperson.
Yes.
Now, according to the Constitution, who is supposed to hold a national consultative assembly or meeting?
Well, first of all, I think the viewers need to understand that illegality is not a question of opinion. You and I can't just sit here and say that, what you're doing is illegal.
Yeah.
It's a question of law. There has to be a known law that you are alleging I have broken for you to state that what I'm doing is illegal. So under normal circumstances, what I would have expected the party president to have said, or any other official for that matter, is that this assembly is illegal because it has breached law A, B, C, D. It's not for me to come and say, you know what, the party constitution says A, B, C, or D. They should have initially stated what law has the Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda breached, which results in an illegal assembly. So that is something that people use loosely. I think he used it in a very loose way without understanding exactly the undertones. Our constitution, of course, talks about meetings with regard to the party organs. It provides for meetings of the National Delegates Conference, the National Conference, the Working Committee, and so on. So when it refers to meetings, it's talking about meetings of the party organs. But that doesn't dissuade you as a member of the party from convening a meeting. Last week I was in a meeting with FDC members from Bugiri district. It was not an illegal assembly. The president didn't call me and say, where are you meeting? Where are you meeting? So Honorable Semujunganda convened a meeting of most of the district chairmen, district chairpersons, and representatives from districts of the party.
Okay.
Honorable Nandala Nathan Mafabi has been doing the same in the past 1 year or so. We met him, I think, about a month ago in Bugiri. He was in Jinja. The party president as well had a meeting with us recently. So meeting is normal. It is normal. And there's nothing illegal about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So we look at now, I should call them two camps. We have a camp of Honorable Semujunganda that says we have to stand strong and fight for the party objectives.
Yes.
And we also have another camp which now takes the party president and Honorable Mafabi, which is being accused of receiving illegal money or receiving money from State House with intentions, which intentions are not clear. And much as this camp, this owns this information. They say, yes, we don't know about this money. This is malice. This, as you are a representative, yes, and you who has been at the heart of this party and following everything,
yes,
do you think these are just claims, or we get back to the English proverb that there is no smoke without fire?
You see, I've been in politics long enough to tend to appreciate certain things in a better, in a more clear perspective. One of the things that came out yesterday, and the purpose of that meeting, was for us to be formally informed about this problem. And Honorable Semujunganda and the Lord Mayor and others who spoke said that this has been an issue that has been with us internally in the party for 3 years. We have been trying to manage it for purposes of maintaining the party image, protecting the party integrity. But it has taken a dimension where we have been forced to let the cat out of the bag. And for many people, it is something which had not been formally communicated. It was still an informal piece of information. Now, while it was still in its informal stage, many of us were thinking the same thing that you're thinking. We said this could be a rumor. This could be missing. We're in an era of disinformation, okay?
Because the party president actually says,
yes,
that this same information was given to Dr. Kizza Besigye, but they say this information is intended to malice and, to malice them, but it is not authentic.
Well, this is what I'm building up to, Before we received the formal communication yesterday through the party spokesperson. And it's good that the party spokesperson is the one who revealed the information, because that's his job, to provide information.
Yes.
Before it got to that stage, we thought as much as you were thinking, that maybe this is disinformation, that maybe this is not authentic. But we had 2 occasions, at least for those of us from Bugiri district, to host our party secretary general, or the Honorable Nathan Nandalamafa. And I personally asked him, I put the question, because I know, I've said I've been long enough in politics to know people could be malicious, people could be treacherous. So I put the question to him directly, and I asked him, did you or did you not get money? And he could not answer the question. His response was that, can anybody produce evidence to the extent that I got the money? And look, I'm an advocate, I know. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. You could commit a crime, and we have seen you all committing the crime. But when we go to court, the police could refuse to come and testify. And then the case could collapse. But that does not necessarily mean, all right, that the crime was not committed. What I would have expected him to have said categorically is that, Mukuve, dear members of the FDC, we have come from so far. This party has been through so much. There is no way I could even be seen near State House with regard to anything to do with money. He had to be categorical as our leader, which he was not. The second occasion we had was to meet with our party president. I put to him the same question, because I know politics is a question of we have to be clear. And if you're in the opposition, people are making lots of sacrifices. We have to be clear to protect our people's sacrifice. So I asked him, did you or did you not take the money? And he took me through the same challenge. He said, no, I received a certain amount. Okay? I received a certain amount. He was honest about it. And he said, I got this money from the Secretary General. What I do not know is where the Secretary General said he got the money from. I am not sure. Now, recall the Secretary General said, for me, I did not do what? There's no evidence, okay? Now, the other one is saying, no, I got
the money.
Yes. So, that inconsistency, that contradictory approach is what has caused most of us to say, no, there is a problem here. There is a problem here. And thankfully, the spokesperson came out eventually and said, I'm giving this to you directly. We are giving you this information formally. How you handle it is up to you. But the fact of the matter is, we have a problem. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, according to how you analyze these issues, is it also true that all this move, including the money that came through the Secretary General to the President, is it all aimed at dragging the party to bed with NRM?
Well, there is what we call in law. There's a principle in law we call res ipsa loquitur, meaning if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, and if it quacks like a duck, it is a duck for all intents and purposes. So why else would this money have come into the party? Which other explanation is there? Why else would this? Does the president wish us to take? Is it a donation? Does he have free money there?
Goodwill donation.
Is FDC such an attractive place that he is looking? He has nowhere else to donate money. We have to be serious. There is only one reason as to why the state could exchange hands with opposition people, and that is either to co-opt them into the ruling government or to divide and disorganize the opposition. Because if you're at a point where you can no longer get legitimacy from the population, if you're at a point where you have 37 years of not delivering even the most basic of services, then the only other way you can seek a mandate is by crippling your opponent. Because then you will have no competition as you continue to misrule the country. So there is no other way, there's no other explanation literally we can have for all these big sums of money having come into the party. It just does not make any other sense aside from that.
Okay, so this comes at a time when the party is soon holding elections, and don't you think this comes at a wrong time? It is a wrong timing, because now someone would say, people who still believe in Camp A will say this is all aimed at tarnishing the other people's names, so that when they contest, the people are not voted. People can't vote for them. And because we see at least each camp has a candidate. Camp A has a candidate and Camp B has a candidate. So who knows whether all this is intended to front their candidates for the benefit of winning the elections?
Well, let me first say that yesterday no one declared the candidature. From what I was at the meeting, but from what I saw, no one declared the candidature. The only person who has declared candidature is the Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi. He came in a meeting and he informed us he wants to be the president of the country. He's the only person so far in the entire party I have seen who has declared his candidature. Of course, Honorable Patrick Muriat as well has expressed his desire to want to continue as a party president. Now, those are the two people who have declared that they want to contest that I have had. However, be that as it may, even if there was a competition,
rumors have it that even the Lord Mayor is
he has not yet declared. He has not declared. So I don't want to speak for him. I want to speak for those who have declared and who have verbally communicated. I don't know if he's interested or not, but I'm sure he will tell us with time. But that notwithstanding, why would you kill the animal that you want to lead? It does not make sense, because the allegations which are present will have without a doubt dented the image of the party. They have killed the traction that this party has had. Now we cannot say that we are bringing a rumor just for the purposes of winning an election, which rumor is going to have the effect of killing the very same thing that we want to lead. It does not make sense. It really does not make sense. So I don't think that is a smart way of going about things, and I don't think that is true. That these are just campaign rumors. No. A campaign rumor that has such a devastating effect on the party cannot be, in our view, a way of looking for support. Another aspect, of course, about this is that this is a serious allegation. It's an allegation that could actually result in some people being excommunicated from the party. So it's not something which you can take lightly and say, all right, I will just go and say this for the purposes of winning an election, and then after that I walk home. No, because if someone is mortgaging our party, that person can't be allowed to remain in the party under normal circumstances, surely. So I don't think this is just about an election. I don't think this is just about a competition for positions. And we need to be realistic and say, in opposition, we have been opposition for 19 years as the FDC. We do not have the luxury of looking for internal votes in the same way as the NRM does it, because we are in the opposition. We should have a seamless election with minimum ranker, so that we focus on the core job of tackling the junta, which is strangling the progress of the country.
Yes. We have a committee that is led by Dr. Frank Nabwiso.
Yes.
And this is a committee of elders. Has this committee been engaged before the information is brought out in public? Were there any attempts to engage at least this committee to see that there is at least a reconciliation of the matter before it goes this far?
Well, there was the constitution, of course, provides for an elders committee of about 11 people, and this committee was appointed. However, the unfortunate bit about it is that from the information we were given yesterday, there was an attempt to muzzle the committee by including, I think, a secretary who was appointed by the Secretary General or the party president, and then an ex-official who is a lawyer, probably, who was also affiliated to the party president, who were all supposed to look at the report of the committee before the report comes out. Now, if you are part of the people that are being investigated, okay, how can you designate people to now look at the work that is going to be given. It does not make sense. All right. So yesterday, one of the members of the committee actually resigned. A man I respect so much from Western Uganda, Mr. Katembeya. He's been with the party as well for a very long time. But he stipulated the circumstances under which he had to leave the elders committee. That notwithstanding, it is still continuing. It's still doing its work. And from what I believe, it is going to form, the outcome of the elders committee is going to form the discussion on the 28th. That most of the members of the National Council will be called upon to consider their report, and basing upon that, take corrective measures to see how we can then move forward.
Okay.
Yes.
So, looking at the 16 billion, alleged 16 billion
Yes.
that was received by the party secretary general,
Yes.
and maybe wouldn't it be of good importance if, okay, they receive the money, but then they go into agreements like we see UPC, which agreement has even resulted into maybe the members of the party being appointed into ministerial posts. For example, for UPC, we have even the vice president, and we have some other ministers. For DP, we have the president appointed. How about if this is the intention, if they're looking at service delivery when they're in power? Because there is also a saying that sometimes if you want to win the one you're fighting,
Yes.
you join them.
If you cannot
learn their tactics.
If you cannot beat them, join them.
So that you learn their tactics and then you beat them.
And then, well, I'll give you a very good example. You know, everything has been tested in reality. Okay, I don't know about you, but I tend to watch football a lot. And we just had a season recently where Manchester City has taken the Premier League, followed by Arsenal. And you know, at the beginning of that season, we had Arteta, who was once in Manchester City, working under Pep Guardiola, a winning coach, okay, coming to Arsenal. And everybody said, you know what, the man has been with them, he has learned all the tactics, and so as a consequence, we are coming here to win. He did not stop at that, okay? He came with some players, okay? He came with, I think, Zinchenko, he came with, you know, people who are on the other side who had a winning mentality and said, oh, we are coming now this side to do what?
To win.
To win. Did they win? They still did not win. So if it was true that whenever you cannot beat them, you just go and join them, Arsenal would have won the trophy, and not only once, we would be going for the second time. But we did not. So I think the same applies to politics. Dr. Paul Kawanga Semugere joined in the broad-based government in 1919 when Museveni had just taken power in 1986. Him, John Sebana Chizito, they formed a broad-based government. They left that government, they went back into their political parties without anything changing. There was literally no change. In every subsequent government that I have seen, because I am almost as old as this government, there have been opposition people. Either Omar Atubo was the Minister of Lands. There have always been some opposition people. Maria Mutagamba, the late, was the Minister for Environment. She was Minister for Water. There have always been some people co-opted by Museveni from the opposition to be in his government. But nothing has changed. So what makes you think that because Honorable Norbert Mao has gone, that there's going to be a fundamental shift in the governance of the country? It is just a joke. All right? The purpose of him co-opting you is to see that you can no longer play your role against him. It is simple. So, because I don't want you to win the Champions League, I will go and get your best keeper and put him as a substitute in my team. But my team will still remain the same. There's nothing I'm going to change fundamentally. Why? Because Ugandans have seen for long enough what the true intention of the current regime is. We don't need to be any more time. 37 years is enough for you to know what you are dealing with. If these people really meant well for our country, it would not be the way it is. So you don't need now to say, okay, I'm going there to learn the tactics. It's not going to help you in any way. It's not going to help you in any way. There is no tactics there aside from what has been being done from the day that the government took power until now. And unless people realize that, then we have a problem.
Is Honorable Sebugo still a member of FDC?
Well, as far as I know, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Did she leave peacefully, or you forced her to leave because she had attained herself a ministerial position?
No, in my view, she left peacefully, just like Honorable Kamya left peacefully,
Okay.
just like many other individuals have left peacefully.
Okay.
Yes. The spectrum of politics is you have a right to associate. That is the law. You have a right to associate. No one is going to restrict you from going where you're going. The question that we will ask you when you've gone there is, what has changed? I mean, Honorable Sebugawa is in charge of ICT in this country. How is the state of ICT now? Has it changed? I mean, has there been a fundamental shift because she came from FDC? There's nothing. Honorable Mao is a Minister of Justice. We still have a problem in justice in this country. You have just been talking about land rights and so on, how people are being evicted. So nothing is going to change.
So you talked about the right of association.
Yes.
How about if Honorable Amuriat and Nandala are just associating and not selling off the party?
No, there is a difference between the two. Okay, if you want to associate, Honorable Kamya did the right thing. She resigned and went to associate. Honorable Sebugawa did the right thing. She resigned, went to associate. Now, I think that was not enough for the president, because I think he saw that individuals resigning and joining him is not having the intended effect, because you leave others who are even stronger. You even leave gaps for even stronger people to join. So I think the tactic had to change and say, no, you bring the whole party. That is what the MOU between Norbert Mao was. That when you leave, let the thing die. Because if we don't let the thing die, it will still remain strong and still gain traction. So you come with it and enter. Now that is what he's trying to do now. So he did it with Norbert Mao, and he has, I think, seen some relative success with it. Now he's trying to repeat the same with us, which we cannot allow.
But now, where does this leave the party as FDC? Because I look at the big wigs being hunted, and if the two are taken, where does this leave the party?
Well, first and foremost, the fundamental rule in politics the world over is that the opposition has never been individuals. That is a fundamental principle of politics the world over. That is why today an individual will pass away. Madiba is no longer in South Africa. Nelson Mandela is no longer in South Africa. Barack Obama is no longer president in the US. An individual will come and go, but the issues around which opposition is organized always remain. So poverty is the opposition in this country. Corruption is the opposition in this country. A lack of opportunity for young people who are full of hope, who are full of brilliance, who want to contribute is the opposition in this country. It's not Bobby Wine, it is not Mukuve, it is not Power or whoever. So if power shifts and goes elsewhere, those issues do not all of a sudden disappear. Another person finds them, waters them properly, and then they rise up again. So there is no way you can say that where does this leave us as an opposition? The opposition is as strong as the issues, not as the individuals. And as long as these issues remain, I can assure you, we will be as strong as ever. As strong as ever. And that is why you will see that in as much as they keep saying, oh, the opposition is weakening and so on, they cannot allow Bobby Wine to hold a show. Because the moment he says, you leave him to go to Nambol and hold the show today, the place will be full. So that is what will tell you that the opposition is still strong in this country. Yes, we do need to be more organized. We do need to be more credible, because credibility is what will allow the people to rally behind us even more. But make no mistake, we are still pushing on as strong as ever.
What will happen if what happened to DP has already, to Democratic Party has already happened, where all the MOU and all the agreements and then signing of the MOU are reached at, minus the participation, the involvement, and the knowledge of party members? How about, just in case this allegation is true, what next if all this has already been happened, and maybe an MOU has already been signed?
Well, I don't want to speculate. I don't know whether an MOU has been signed or not.
We are just assuming.
But my thinking is that we need to give time for the National Council to meet on the 28th. And once it has met, then it will take a decision. Because even if you've signed an MOU, which as I said, I don't know, then, and you're expelled from the party, what's the validity of your MOU? Because if this is not the way DP was, okay, if on the 28th, assuming you are expelled from the party, what's the validity of your MOU? That is a fundamental point which has to be traversed. So I think let's give the systems in place time to implement their mandate, and then from there we can see where the chips have fallen. Yes.
So of course, before we take a short break,
yes.
There's also been an allegation that the Secretary General has been exempting himself from very many party activities. Is this true?
He has been exempting himself from very many party activities.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Such as which party?
No, including funding the activities of the organization. Yet at the time,
yes,
is almost running out, and this is also an allegation that is aimed at wasting some time, so that as the other motive is achieved.
Well, what we know for what I know for sure is that the fundamental exercise that is supposed to take place now in the party is election of new structures and leadership from the grassroots up to the national level. And that process usually takes a certain dimension. There are processes that you have to follow. You have to have a register of members, okay? Just like the Electoral Commission does when we are going for a national election. You go around registering members with their national IDs and so on. So you have to have a register of members. Once you've had a register of members, you have to train people who are supposed to go and conduct the elections from the village level up until the district level. And then once those training have been done, then you begin systematically holding the elections. Now, of course, even while you are doing those things, you need to do some mobilization and some recruitment, because remember, the party has come from 2021 election. That election had a life of its own. You had NUP coming in, you had all this and that.
Yes.
People are still in that imbroglio. You have not yet covered that. So you need to go back and mobilize them afresh. You need to go back and talk to them. There were many concerns, for instance, that we got from the consultative meeting of yesterday. District chairpersons had so many issues they were raising. Before you have an election and tell people to go and elect people, you need to go down to the grassroots, talk to those people, see what they are saying, see if they can bring new members into the party. Have some press conferences, get a feel of what's in the population. And then once you've made some traction, then you can have your elections, as it were, and then it culminates. Now, what happened is...
Actually, we are going to start from what happened shortly after the commercial break. Please stick with us. Thank you so much for choosing Church of Uganda Family TV. We are in Issues at Hand on Church of Uganda Family TV, and Issues at Hand is brought to you by Protea Hotel, by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort at its best. Now, you can find a weekend and take your family out. Protea Hotel offers you the best swimming pool, offers you the best play center for kids, and I want to assure you your children will have that best recreation ever. Now, we are continuing with our talk. We are analyzing the split claims in the FDC party, and of course, by the end of yesterday, it was known all over that there are now two sects in the party. The Oppo sect, which is opposing the team that took the money and demanding the other team to come and, and give reasons as to why they received this money. But before the break, we're actually looking at the party secretary general, who is being accused of course, handling the party as, or owning the party, looking at it as his own property and not a national property. So you are still telling us about what is happening now versus what is supposed to be done.
Yes. So the process of elections, there is a procedure it's supposed to follow. But much to our surprise and much to our consternation is that this process has not been followed. There has been an attempt to short-circuit the process and go directly to carry out an election for which the infrastructure and the administrative process required have not yet been put in place. And so we are asking why. Why is it being done so? Secondly, we have seen the party image recede, the party visibility recede. We don't see our party engaged in any activity in terms of either activism, in terms of the public mobilization. We are not topic on the issues as we used to be. Okay, so there has been a kind of recession under this new regime, as opposed to the previous scenarios where we were always at the forefront of tackling so many of the matters that are affecting the country.
Okay, because I see here Honorable Mwijushe accuses the Secretary General that he has not even presented a budget for all these operations. And he says, I really do not understand what is happening. He says, right now we are talking of party structure elections. There is no budget attached to it. It is him to decide from his home on how much must go to such an activity and who gets it and who doesn't. He said of the Secretary General, and he also added that I've been betrayed by my leader. And since I am a fighter, you cannot betray me. And I keep quiet. Otherwise, the money that is being talked about, the treasurer should know, but he does not know where the money came from. Now, of course, there are a lot of things that are roaming around, but there is this very important that I want us to now draw our attention to. We are not here to cause any animosity within the party, but to find solutions.
Yes.
So, what are some of the solutions that you reached at by the end of yesterday's assembly?
Well, the first solution, of course, is the members of the National Council, part of the members of the National Council, who are the district chairpersons, agreed that we are going to go back to our respective districts.
Were they all present?
Yes, they were all present. We only had 20 who did not come, but they sent apologies. But out of 146, 120 were present, and then the others were represented. Okay. So the agreement was, one, to go back to our districts and mobilize our people. We give them the information because now we have been formally informed. So we can inform them. After informing them about what is taking place, we prepare properly for the National Council meeting of the 28th, where we are going to receive the report from the Elders Committee about what has been taking place. And then we give our colleagues proper audience as to what they respond to that report. And then from there, we take a decision. So all eyes are fixed on the 28th. Once we have done that, then we can prepare for elections, as it were, which we can start in the process and the procedure that we're supposed to follow. After that, we renew the party with fresh ideas, fresh blood, new zeal, and then we continue tackling the challenges of the day.
So what, how about if it comes out to be that the people accused of receiving money on behalf of the party, with whichever intentions, did not actually receive this money, or if they received the money, it was personal and not for the party? How will you nurse their wounds and come back? Will you call another assembly to come back and demystify what you earlier?
Well, if it turns out that they did not take the money.
No, they received the money. Someone confessed they received the money. So, just in case, this money was a personal handshake and not on behalf of the party.
Well, if it turns out that there is no wrongdoing, which I strongly suspect in the negative, because I don't think this matter would have reached this far. Okay, this is something which happened in 2021 and so on. So really, if it was not a big deal, if I went and got a loan from the bank, or if maybe I had a legitimate business transaction, really things would not reach this far. The party would not be going asunder in this way. I don't think really that there would be a cause for alarm. If I've gotten money in a legitimate way, I had a business deal and the money came through, I would tell my party leader, this is what happened, this is where the money came from, and so on. But by the time we reach to this point, then I think really I don't foresee there being any change in that direction. Probably what I would have thought is that those who would have been involved would have come clean and said, you know what, we made a mistake, we made an error. If we thought that we could do A, B, C, D, I think we cannot. And so we request the party with this magnanimity of heart to forgive us. I think that would have been the more mature thing to do, which would have prevented all these issues from coming up. But be that as it may, let's wait and see what the Elders Committee will come up with.
Okay. So Nandera Mafabi also accuses Semujung, and now I think it has now turned to be an accusation game, where this one says you received the money, and then the other one also says you also received money, but why don't you come up and talk about your money? Because here Mafabi accuses MP Semuju of being a mole, saying he has amazed unexplained wealth having come to the house, a threadbare journalist. Where did he get that money he now has from? And he has no kiosk that sells airtime. At least I have a kiosk which sells fuel, but for him, nothing. He came to parliament as a journalist with nothing, but now you see he is one of the richest guys around. So Mafabi is also accusing Semuju. In other words, if I received money, I want to be Semuju, Mafabi. If I received the money, it is okay. But you also receive money, because at least me, I have somewhere I get my money from. What about you? Where do you get your money from? So don't you think that now I think we are losing it all around? All these accusations may end up putting us off track, or you as the party members, because I believe there's going to be a time where the members now have failed to know who is right and who is wrong, because this one is accusing this one with proof, the other one is also accusing the other one with proof.
So if I'm to get the Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi correctly, is he admitting that I received the money, but wait, you also received?
Yes.
I mean, what does that make sense? Carry your own cross. Why is it now, when you are being accused, that you're also now pointing and saying, oh, even the other one? No, an eye for an eye will make the world blind. And two wrongs do not make a right.
True.
Okay? So if there are allegations against you as the Secretary General, you answer to them. I would in fact, in law we have a principle that says he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Before I want to look for a problem in someone else, I have to first sort out my own problem. So that now I'm clean enough to come and start saying, hey, what is this that you were saying? But you have not yet answered our queries. Because Samuel Uganda is not the Secretary General of our party. He does not have the powers that you wield. Okay? First answer to the challenges that have been beset before you. And then once you have done that, you can start telling us, oh, look, even the persons who were leveling allegations against me, I mean, these are not people who are clean. And I have evidence, it's here. And then we can listen to you. But we can't listen to, if you find two thieves on the street, now, who is going to help who?
So as we wind up this discussion, what message do you have for the party members who we must agree that are in a mess right now? They don't know who to believe at a point. What message do you have to them as we wind up this discussion?
The message I have to the members of our party is that this party was founded to fight national challenges. It was not founded because of individuals. It was not founded because of Dr. Besigye. It was not founded because of Honorable Nandala, Honorable Semuju, Mukuve, or any other person. It was founded because of the national challenges that we are facing. Those challenges have not gone away. And so we should remain steadfast on our mission, core mission, because yesterday's theme was redirecting the party to its core mission. Let's stay firm on our core mission of fighting for democracy, fighting for better opportunities for our people, and fighting for a new course for our country.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, it's been a pleasure having you at least analyzing some of these issues. And I believe people who had doubts at least have now something to take home. Thank you so much for giving us this time amidst your busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you for having me as well.
Yeah, and to your viewer, we are grateful. Thank you so much for choosing Church of Uganda Family TV Issues at Hand this morning. We are going to leave you with some of the highlights of yesterday's meeting as you follow through, and then you will hear some of the messages that were at Sharing Hall in Zambia. But as for now, God bless you. We meet again next time.